imagine that this is your view for 5 weeks with no Wi-Fi. What would you do? So my company sent me down to the Antarctic to get better acquainted with our fishing operations in the Antarctic. We fish for krill, which is high in omega-3s, EPA and DHA, which is vital for our human health, but it's important that we harvest it without compromising the health of the planet. But being there for 5 weeks, I can tell you I had a lot of time on my hands. No appointments, no friends to have dinner with, no social media, no notifications, no need to go for grocery shopping or cooking. No nothing. So in the middle of sort of banging my head against the wall, I gave myself a challenge. I said, there's one thing that I really don't get yet, that I'm really failing at in my life. And I've been researching and studying sustainable business models for 5 years. And I've understood what it takes to actually succeed at sustainability. But I was really failing on the personal side of things. I was trying and I was like, I'm going all in. I'm gonna make my own toothpaste. I'm gonna only use reusable containers and, you know, going really all in, but only lasting for 2 weeks. Going back and I was like, drinking smoothies from plastic and feeling bad about myself. So I decided that I had to hack this. They say that it takes 3 weeks to build a habit, and I had 5. So I was good on time, but I knew it would be a tremendous challenge to come back into my daily life and keep the habits that I cultivated on that boat. But I was willing to give it a try. And through my career, I had been looking for the sweet spots of business where sustainability was profitable. Now I had to look at the sweet spots in our everyday lives, where a choice is good for our health, for our well-being, and for our wallet, but it happens to save the planet at the same time. Not the easiest task, but it's possible, and I found a couple of good ways to go around it. So I was there in the Antarctic researching this guy, the krill. A small crucianites, more tons of krill in the ocean than humans on land. It is one of the most sustainable reduction fisheries in the world and one of the strongest regulated. So this industry has been at the front of sustainability because basically it didn't have any choice to begin with. Before deploying fishing nets 10 years ago, they went into dialogue with WWF to make sure that they did it the right way. And there's 3 things with the way we do sustainability in my company, but also some of the characteristics I see with people who succeed with sustainability. And that is that they have a reason for being. They tackle global challenges. They have a set of values that they allow to guide their actions. And they keep themselves accountable. What really struck me when I got to know our company was that they had managed to make sustainability the default choice. It was in the backbone. Whenever you met a crossroad, you went with a sustainable solution. And from my perspective, I was like, yeah, but what if it's not profitable? And they were like, yeah, but we know it's the right thing to do, because they were so highly regulated and they really believed in the cause. And now we see the returns. It's a highly profitable company. They have changed the view of the planet to not only see a plate, but to see a home that we need to take care of in return. So I looked to the Sustainable Development Goals and I said, okay, I need a direction. Like a company sets a strategic direction, I as a person also need to find my direction. And I did. Out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the UN, I chose goal number 12, which is responsible production and consumption. And that's why I'm talking about this to you today. Okay, so I had the global challenge I wanted to get at. And the next point was setting my values. And I was like, this is easy. I know what my values are. But I didn't. I knew I valued sustainability, but it was too fluffy to guide my everyday actions. So I had to really go inside myself and look at how my values compared to my actions. And I felt the inconsistency. I couldn't pinpoint it, but I knew that I had bad conscience in my everyday life. And I said, okay, so what are my values? I value the earth because I enjoy hikes and nature and species and the diversity that surround us every day, and I want that to last and prosper. I value deep work, really prioritizing quality over quantity, doing meaningful stuff instead of busy work. And this is the one that surprised me, because I figured out I value good health. And by articulating that, it made it easier for me to choose the healthy option when going to the store. It made it easier to prioritize time in my schedule to go to the gym. And I worked as an Arabic instructor. I lived at the gym for some time of my life. But now it was easier to prioritize it because I knew it was acting in accordance with my values. And that felt good. Last bit is to keep yourself accountable. So I write in a journal every night, and I did that on the boat, and I still do it, to sort of do a feeling of the day. Did I act in accordance to my value? Yes? No? Maybe? Could have been better? And what strikes me is that when I look at my day and I feel that I really made it, I feel good about myself. I have a clear conscience, everything is great. But when I've had a day where I failed at it, I still feel good about myself because I knew what I was failing at and what I could do to improve it. It was tangible. Being exceptional is not about being flawless. It's about knowing where your flaws are and how you can change them, how you can evolve as a human being. And this was the part that actually gave me the most value. My solution became this: trying to design new defaults, so that it would be easier for me to make the right decision for myself and the planet when going to the store. But at the same time, I know that to convince all of you guys to do this, I can't put on a strict regime saying, you have to do this all the time, these defaults are what counts. So I added in some flexibility. This means that we get a bit of wiggle room, right? And I'm going to give you 3 examples of how I'm using that wiggle room in 3 of the habits that I did keep. Because I can tell you, I tried building 10 habits, and I now have 3, but I do value them, and I brought them with my life back on shore in my hectic everyday life. Why? Because they drastically improved the quality of my life. 1, I'm a default vegetarian. If I have the choice, I eat vegetarian. I eat some fish, we need omega-3s. But if I come to a dinner party with my friends and I've forgotten them to tell them that I don't eat red meat and they're serving red meat, I'll have red meat. I don't want my lifestyle to make me impolite in social settings. And if I want bacon a day, I'll eat bacon. I think our minds work in the way that if we prohibit ourselves something, we end up wanting it more. So by allowing us to be free and flexible, but knowing what our values are, we feel better at the end of the day, no matter what we've been doing. Secondly, I say no to plastics. I have reusable cups with me, doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's easy. I save a lot of money, don't have to buy everything all the time, I plan ahead. And it's important because only 10% of the plastic we produce, we recycle. And we've all seen the pictures of the turtles getting caught in our waste. And I think this is one of the most important things we can do in our everyday life, is to say no to plastics. The third one, and this is my favorite, it is prioritizing quality over quantity. And to me, it means prioritizing to do the first and foremost important task at the very beginning of the day. It means buying timeless pieces of quality for my closet and not hunting the fast fashion. But most of all, it means having time for long dinners with conversations that matter with the people I care about. So wrapping it up all up, it means, like business, to be business-word, to have a reason to do business. It means setting a direction for ourselves, articulating our values, and holding ourselves accountable. I truly believe that we can have more from having less. More time, better health and well-being, while spending less, owning less, and wasting less. And I challenge you to start that journey by finding your direction, articulating your values, and holding yourself accountable. Thank you.